It's time to lock in and go all in because tomorrow's officially the day, folks. Why? On the 5-day sneak peek here, quick spoiler, in a day and 7 hours from right now when I'm recording this video. So tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, about that time is when officially the 5-day will close below the moving average, guys. Okay, the 5-day candle will close above the 5-day candle will close below the 5-day moving average tomorrow night. And that's it. The first trigger is officially completed. Oh my. But today's video it's going to be something like, okay, let us keep our emotions in check, guys. I'm going to be talking about BC Backer's theory here, and what do we think about it? Okay, what are my thoughts? Because when I seen this, I was actually quite shocked. First things first, though, breaking. President Trump says there is virtually no inflation. I don't know what he means by that. Probably for the rich, though. And stock markets are continually hitting record highs. That's most definitely the case here, right? Everything just rampaging higher and higher. The markets don't care about reality, okay? But that's what happens before the collapse occurs, guys. Okay, the markets will not care, and it will diverge. It will have the largest divergence known to mankind before the collapse. While the markets, stock market, crypto market, every other market goes higher like this, right? Probably like that, to be honest. But the reality or the economy is probably going like this, right? All the way down. There's a divergence. One is lying. Obviously, the economy isn't. So therefore, stock market will collapse. Okay, but before then, we're just going to keep rising and higher and higher and higher. So people are asking the age-old question: should I sell my XRP? Okay, so this comes from Reddit, from SMHX. Okay, this is the question we're going to be answering in today's video, and I say no, but let us investigate further. He says, need a realistic answer, not XRP all the way. I got 3.9k shares of XRP at $2.33 a share as of right now. That's 12k, and I put in 9k, so 3k profit. I've seen it go up to 15k when it hit its peak, and I didn't sell at this point. I made 3k, but I'm not sure if it's gonna boom like people thought. Number one, I think you should do a little bit of more research on XRP, guys, because, you know, the terms he uses, such as shares, right? It reminds me that he's more into the stock market than the crypto market. But in my opinion, as of right now, this isn't financial advice. Instead of cashing out, I think you go all in. Why? Because XRP specifically is lagging behind Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin were to top right now, XRP isn't topped out. That's just my opinion, but here it comes from BC Backer. As the clock strikes October 4th, 2025 on the charts, we have reached the full 2021 cycle length. I am 50% in cash. Rare Sunday video release tomorrow, which is this video, I'm guessing, which I just kind of watched through this, guys, and I have some timestamps here we're going to watch, okay, together, and I'm going to explain my thoughts here. But basically, he says that, okay, first things first, guys. He's now in 50% in cash. Wow. So that's when I seen this, guys. Okay, that's when I got really in shock. Okay, I'm not saying this is a good or bad thing. In reality, when you cash out profits, it's called profits for a reason, right? You made money. So anybody angry at BC Backer doesn't know what they're talking about. In reality, when you invest into something, you look for profits and then you cash out, right? Some look for more profits, but some look for less profits because probably their portfolio is already huge, right, to begin with. So from Bitcoin, guys, he points to this chart, why he cashed out probably, but there's a fractal that he overlaid on top of Bitcoin's current chart, and it's literally the same exact thing, right? Which shows that, let's see here, Bitcoin has topped out. Now, this does show that October 4th that Bitcoin has topped out and we are creating, we're going higher here. But have we truly topped out? Credible Crypto says, wait, you know, people are asking Credible Crypto, will you give us a sign, right, of like when he's gonna cash out, right? What's going on with what's happening here with cycles and all that? He says, I'll literally tell you guys when I start taking profits on my spot holdings. Maybe just make sure you have alerts turned on for my tweets. That might be a good idea. But, okay, so Credible Crypto isn't selling here, okay? But on the other hand, BC Backer is, guys. So who's going to be right in the end of the day? I think they both will be right. Okay, in a sense, I'm gonna explain why here in just a second. It all comes back to this chart, and this is the chart that matters to me. I don't care what anybody else says, guys. Even though I respect everyone, okay, I respect everyone's opinion, because you must look at everything with a open mind, guys, so you're not blindsided. Okay, so my thing is, it all comes down to this chart, which this is my precious chart, guys, that no one has ever talked about. I could assure you, go look throughout the whole internet. No one is talking about this, which is why it's my precious chart. Okay, and on the 5-day, we're about to close below, which I told you, under the 5-day moving average on the USDT diamond charts. I'm an extreme bull, right? I'm about to become an ultra extreme bull here rather shortly, actually. But first, let us calm down, keep our emotions in check, and watch this quick video from BC Backer. It's actually 31 minutes long, but we're not going to watch the full thing, just a little bit of it. First things first, we go to 335, okay, 335, and let BC Backer explain his reasoning on why he cashed out 50% here, right? And looking at and you know, looking at it from this angle, honestly, it's not a bad reason at all.
Sell in Q4 at the same time, right? But in regards to this particular chart, it is actually quite fascinating to see how when we take a look at it from the perspective of the actual literal top coming in here back on November 10th of 2021, then we head down here and look at where the bottom is of the market down there in November of 2022. It's even more fascinating when we look at it when it actually goes into the actual escape from the past all-time high on both of these, that these cycle timings are quite odd on how they're working in here. So to play the this time is different game, right? Well, one, you know, you have to look at all of these things, and, you know, to take no action here, what are you implying? You're implying this time is different. Another.
Wait, so look at this, guys. This is literally a crazy chart, because look at this. It literally timed, you know, Bitcoin's past few years exactly to a T. Okay, the tops and bottoms, by the way. The only difference here from the fractal to the current Bitcoin's price action is volatility, right? Volatility as in the fractal went lower and went higher, went lower here, went a lot higher here, but the price action for Bitcoin was a lot more tamed. Okay, it was less volatile than the previous fractal, or from this fractal, guys, that it shows. So that's the only difference. But the similarity here is it has literally called the exact tops and bottoms. Okay, so which says Bitcoin is about to top out, or has, if you strictly go look from this point of view.
Take no action here. What are you implying? You're implying this time is different. Another thing I was thinking to myself, if I was 6 months removed from this moment right now, and if this market had fallen from right here, and if I wasn't taking any profit during this moment, and we look back on it, and we said, you know, you kind of had all this figured out. You kind of had all these ideas in here that you thought this is how this was going to play out. But then when we were in that moment right there, why didn't you take any profit? It's like, well, you know, there was a couple of things, and I thought maybe this time would be different.
Exactly, guys. I mean that's, you know, when you're a trader, it becomes more aware to you of what BC Backer just stated, right? But when you're holding, it doesn't really, because you're at that point, you don't know, you know, if we're gonna go higher, because when we reach, let's say, 100K per Bitcoin, now people are gonna call for, you know, higher prices. I remember this happened to me once before. It was back in 2021 cycle. I'm not even kidding. No, 2017 cycle, when I was a first newcomer to the crypto market, guys. Okay, what happened was, Bitcoin hits like 10K, like 17K, and I hear people screaming on top of their lungs everywhere, YouTube, I think on Twitter, that, what's it called? Bitcoin is going to 100K, or no, like I was hearing a million, right? 100K, a million. When we hit 20K, people are calling for like extremely higher prices, right? So people do change their targets. That is an issue that people shouldn't do, right? Just because, you know, they're feeling FOMO, right? And this type of crazy feeling, that's a negative to coins going higher, because people always change their targets. So if you had a target from the bear markets, unless your whole thesis changes, and you know, you actually have the facts, then that's different, guys, right? But if you're just jumping on to your emotions, right, holding onto your bullish emotions, that's a bad thing. But that's just my thoughts there.
Think about that person 6 months from right now, looking back on this moment right here after spending nearly a year discussing these things, and then thinking, what was I thinking in the moment? But it's the reality, right? This is a thing that we've talked about for months on end.
Yeah, if he talked about this for months on end, guys, for years, then it's actually a good thing that he's taking profits. He's following through with his plan, right? That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to just change in the last second.
the moving average convergence divergence. We've done really the exact same stuff in here to go ahead and have a big bearish divergence on a new high, and then already have had the crossovers. So to say it's going to do something different, maybe, but I look forward 6 months from right now and then say to myself, well, why didn't you do anything during that?
So he's basically saying that there are divergences that happen in previous tops for Bitcoin, and he's connected to them to it in the current day, right? The only difference here I see is momentum is actually stronger this time, right, than previously, right? You guys can see how the RSI went down. The RSI is higher now, and as well as it's pivoting. It's literally going higher now. This MACD is trying to cross back up. Plus, this stochastic RSI has already crossed back up, meaning momentum is coming back into Bitcoin's market, right? Bitcoin's asset, guys. So there are similarities, yes, there are divergences, but as well at the same time, the money that's pouring into Bitcoin is killing the divergences, basically, or trying to.
And I was like, I don't really know. It'd be like, well, you know, you had the exact timing, you had market ricochets. Different for the cutting.
And he talks about the Federal Reserve and the cutting cycle, guys. Whenever they cut, right, something bad could be on the horizon here. Let's just skip through a little bit.
For various altcoins such as XRP.
So then here he talks about the similarities of Q4, guys, for these different altcoins, right? Where this is Hedera hash graphs, graph, guys, or charts, and it's basically repeating the same fractal as 2021, right? As of right now, that is. Anything could change, but this is right now.
Meander around in here and really just kind of waddling. DC.
And then this is XRP versus Cardano here. Okay, Cardano's chart right here. Literally the same exact price action, right? But in my opinion, XRP will do something like this. Wow, XRP is actually flying. So I think that XRP right now is a safer bet than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is getting a lot riskier, right? Because it's creating new all-time highs, but XRP is actually lagging behind, right? So right now you shouldn't sell XRP, in my opinion. Bitcoin is a different matter. If you do sell Bitcoin, then that's good, in my opinion. But XRP not, because it's lagging behind.
The thing that would start making you concerned that it's acting differently than that, right? And my very clear outline has been, well, like what Cardano did back in 2021, that if we just saw the price really just start meander around in here and really just kind of waddling on top of the 618 fib, it kind of opens that door for that happening. Sure enough.
I have a feeling that XRP will go back to this level, 360. Why? Because of all the liquidity all throughout this area. You guys see how they never went higher than the previous peak, right, for XRP's price, is because they're saving liquidity for later to just take in one shot, right? That's what they always do. Let's skip a bit. 1550
stuff that's showing up in here, but if this Russell can just like definitively bust its way out of here, and then the altcoin market busts its way out of here, Ethereum busts its way out of here, well, man, the picture really changes. But again, we set another new high yesterday on Friday on the Russell, but then it kind of pulls back and everything kind of teeters around. And
so yeah, he's waiting for the Russell breakout, guys. I don't know if he's gonna buy any cryptos back though, if it does break out. Not sure about the Russell too much. I guess we could look into it, but I don't want to do it right now. And then last but not least, he talks about
markets in both these rises and falls, but we don't market. And I say, all right, we're still just kind of there. And what is the message being sent to the market in that environment? Or even if it rejects from there, because we can look through that and there's various reactions in here. It's mostly down markets, down equity markets in both these rises and falls, but we definitely don't know what happens if it busts out fully and what message is
realistically, silver is about to skyrocket, it looks like,
being sent to the market. And in the end, this is,
which means people are trying to, you know, protect their wealth here, right? To protect their wealth. But yeah, all we have to do here is watch out for this chart. In my opinion, I do take into account other people's opinions, but mine matter more because it's what I'm seeing, guys, right, from my mind's perspective here. But at the end, right now, what I'm looking to is close under the 5-day, which is about to do by tomorrow, unless if there's a black swan event, then it won't. But there won't be a black swan event by tomorrow, so it will close below, and then we'll then talk about it, what happens thereafter. Under this level, by the way, under 4.35% for USDT dominance, I'm an extreme bull. As soon as we close below and hold resistance, I become an ultra extreme bull for cryptos. It's time to moon. Let us see what happens next. But always keep your emotions in check at the end of the day. Don't get too overhyped or too under fear, guys. Not the nature of vice. My name is Sophie's. See ya.